Hello, everyone. Welcome to another of my 2018 broadcasts. I apologize for being late. I was setting up some things, and you know how that is, making sure that everything is all right. Before I begin, I want to thank all of you who have joined me, who have followed me over the years since I started broadcasting. I don't do many of them, but I intend to make it different this year. Begin to promote myself, get out there, be known. And if you like what you have saw in here, then you can share it with other people. And you can go to my YouTube channel and follow me. But before I begin, I want to say this message is for anyone, whether you're Christian or non-Christian, but it can flow across any cultural lines. But I had a thought prior to turning on this video. I was wondering, why is it that we who call ourselves Christians kind of celebrate somebody's misfortune? We take pride in it. We share the news. We just kind of gloat. It's like doing cartwheel, backflip, and say, yeah, whatever. But ask yourself this question. As a Christian individual, your thinking should be totally different from the world. You can't play both sides of the fence, because when you really play the side of a Christian following God as you know him, you'll find out that your thoughts, your belief, your ideas, your feelings drop down by the wayside. So before you start gloating in people's misfortune or something bad happened to them, or a 999 kind of thing, you know, I told you so, or whatever we can think of to satisfy our satisfaction, nothing comes of it. We bringing it on ourselves. Remember, the seeds you sow will come back on you. When you are gloating and promoting and taking fun or picking on people, or, you know, just enjoying that their downfall or whatever the case may be, you're going to reap what you sow. You're not off the hook. You can be in Atlanta, Georgia, wherever you live right now, watch television, listen to the news, read the paper, or however you get your information, social media. When you begin to gloat and take pride and feel bad because someone, then you know it doesn't work that way. So those of us who say we are Christians, our thoughts should be different. People should look at us and recognize there's a difference. Rather, we don't have to join them, but our thoughts and our thinking from this day forward, you know. So my thought, I was thinking about, everybody's making a New Year resolution. I made them. You probably made them. You probably made the same one over and over and over. But I recall that a lot of my New Year resolution, I didn't even keep. I just, you know, did it because it's a shoe, tying your shoe kind of thing. But then I realized that, wait a minute. Our New Year resolution, if you want to call them that, should always be every year. We should be changing our behavior every year, every moment, every day. When we hear the truth about ourselves, we should just change what we think about ourselves. And then we change what we think about ourselves, then we can be example for other people to follow. And what are some resolutions? You know, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to change my lifestyle. I'm not going to drink and smoke anymore. I don't like how I look in the mirror. And we try to find answers to a problem that's been plaguing us over the years, or maybe since we could realize it. And some resolutions we stick to and some we don't. I know, and I'm going to come from a gym perspective. I go to the gym and I work out. So I'm going to use a twist on the New Year resolution to let you think about it. Hello, my sister, Patricia Ann Milton. I'm glad to see that you joined me. Out of the family member, you always be joining me. I hope you get something out of it and you can share with other people. But I realized that a New Year, I got my coin, that series that I'm doing called the Pussification. So I'm always edification on certain things. So I'm using my terminology. I call it Happy New Year'ification in a revolutionary. You know, the revolution, we can say a person's a revolution because he stands for something, have a cause, but then I add mine, the revolutioners, as pertaining to what I'm about to share with you. And everyone wants to change. So happy New Year's, happy New Year's vacation. Happy New Year's vacation. And it is for everyone that wants to change, but do not know how to change. Hold on a second. Happy New Year's vacation. Happy New Year's vacation. It's for everyone that wants to change, but do not know how, because everything they try fall apart New Year after New Year after New Year's. Now that the New Year is here, did you make an announcement? Did you say to yourself, I'm going to make a New Year resolution? What are you going to do differently? Are you going to do the same old thing? The same old thing. I was inspired to write a New Year resolution. I put this together in 2014, but I never finished it until a couple of days ago. What are you going to change? And after talking to the particular person at the local health club, I decided to write a twist on using the New Year resolution and tying it together with certain things that we see when we go into the gym. So let me begin. A New Year resolution is a commitment you and I make to lose weight, work out, stop doing bad behavior, quit smoking, and doing whatever you just thought. Then there are those personal goals we keep to ourselves. In addition, we might add or take away from our last year New Year resolution. As I was talking to the person in the gym, I realized that the health club is a good place to see the new year, what I call revolutionary terms. You know, every time in the first 2 weeks, if you go to a regular gym, the gym is packed. You see people you never saw as you've been going in weeks and weeks and weeks. The machines are tired up. You can't get the machine. Everybody, you know, bumping into each other. They're trying to lose or want to lose weight or coming to lose weight. But then as the week progresses, the crowd drops, and then you have a few New Year resolutioners who I call that will maintain their program, and then you can get to the equipment and get to the gym and be able to work out. So every gym is experienced a flood of what I call New Year resolutioners. And then those resolutioners leave a few behind that has now committed to their New Year resolution. I had declared New Year resolution, as I say, I had to declare New Year resolution year after year. Some I achieve and others fall by the wayside. I asked myself, why I need to wait until the new year? Is it because I think that starting a new year will be a real change in my life? When you and I make a New Year resolution to one or more goals, project, or quitting a bad habit, we really stop. We continue to do the New Year resolution. We kind of pretend we trying to make out that we achieving the goal, but we self-talk ourselves out of them because other people, if we have a partner that go to the gym with us, you know, they don't stick to their plan. We don't want to get up and murder. We just find all kinds of reasons not to go to gym and work out. But I'm going someplace with this. Stick with me. As we go to the gym and we work out, and then we achieve a little goal, and then we might drop off and don't go back anymore. I know that the days, months, and weeks do not change. So what changed? The year 2018. You made a product. You probably made one 17, 16, 15, 12. Take a look 10 years back. So we know that the only thing changed is now it's 2018. It's the same old day, the same old weeks and months. And I thought about our resolutions and wonder why we wait to the new year to start. Are we deceiving ourselves thinking that we're going to receive special powers to accomplish this finally at last New Year resolution? Think about it. Should we wait for the next year to change? Since no day and weeks and months change, only the year. And think about it. Next year, our next moment or 10 minutes from now, is that promised to us? My saying is, every time you blink your eye, take a deep breath, you're moving from, I take a deep breath, I'm in my past, my present, and my future. So we're constantly moving from past, present, and future every time we blink our eyes and take a deep breath. So we have no control over tomorrow, 5 minutes from now. So why wait until next year? Why wait to this year to try to fulfill a New Year resolution when we have not even achieved the one that we did last year? Excuse me. Does our body wait until the new year to change? No, it is constantly changing. If it does not change, what do you think will happen? If our body stopped changing every New Year cycle, what do you think will happen to us? You and I will be dead. You and I will be sick. Our heart, our lungs, everything that we have no control over does not say, oh, I think I'll wait till next New Year's and I'll beat more faster. It doesn't say, oh, I'll wait and wait till you go to sleep. It's constantly beating all the time. And I did a little bit of homework, and I came up with some interesting facts which lead me into the bulk of my message. Here are some interesting facts that you should consider while thinking about your New Year resolution. You have a brand new stomach lining every 4 days, new skin every 30 days, a new liver in 6 weeks. Even the skeleton is replaced every 3 months. The blood plasma itself every 10 days. Our white blood cell renews itself every 2 to 3 weeks. Our red blood cell typically renew themselves every 120 days. Our entire blood renews itself for every 3 to 4 months. What you eat becomes part of your body. If you are a skinny person and you start eating a lot of food, then you start putting on those pounds. You are what you think. The thoughts that you think defines you. I'll get back to that in a moment. Furthermore, our entire body, 90% of our body renew itself every 7 years. And depending on whether you're a man or a woman, 7 for the woman and 8 for the men. Women have the ability to renew their body more quickly than men, I guess because they can have babies and then they are prone to renewing themselves. Now you know why doctors would say, come back in 6 months after 90 days, because they want whatever's in your system to change. See if the contents in your blood is the same 3 months later. That's why when we eat certain fatty foods, eat a lot of salt food, eat a lot of things, some people smoke marijuana, some people drink alcohol, some people do hardcore drugs, and then when they go take a drug test, that is still in their system for 90 days. So when the doctor say, come back after 90 days, I'll do your blood count, see if you got diabetes or whatever they're looking for. They want to have a clean slate, and they tell you not to eat any food, not to drink any thing prior to it, so they can get an accurate count of your blood count. And then the scripture tells us, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. The scripture's not talking about eating physical food. You become what you eat. How do we eat? We eat with our mind. And those of you who know me and have been following my blog or following my YouTube channel or following anything I post, someone shared with me today that, hey, you speak in metaphors. And I said, maybe I do, and I'm going to claim that for myself. And I always say, if a person know the Bible, they say, oh, he's quoting the scripture, but it doesn't sound like it. So if you want to accept that I'm speaking metaphors, this is one of the particular messages that I'm going to speak in metaphor. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. We eat. You can tell what a person is eating by the language that come out of their mouth. If they're cussing all the time, they're eating curse words. If they're negative, not positive, or they're always complaining, or if they're always blaming and accusing, or whatever you can think of, they are eating those thoughts. And when they eat those thoughts, they put on mental weight, and they start behaving a certain way based on what they're eating. They might have, for example, they may say, well, I don't like a different race. So they start putting on an attitude. They start growing a few poundage, if you want to use it, in their thought. They start thinking. We know when we eat physical food, person can put on the weight, and you can tell they're gaining weight by eating food. But when we start eating thoughts from the TV and the radio and the TV shows, and eating thoughts from other people, you say, well, what do you mean by that? If you are listening to gossip, if you listen to anything and you accept it in your mind, you just ate it. And then you go back and repeat it to somebody else, and you're constantly eating that stuff. And depending on what you hear, what happens? You start behaving in that way. It can be a lie. I all have this thing, 1 + 1 is 2, not 3. Try this the next time or when you get offline. When you talk to other individuals, listen to what they're saying. They're going to say what they think, feel, want, and believe. Very rarely they will speak facts. Very rarely they will speak what they know. Very rarely they will speak as an independent thinker. They will think with group. Like this lady told me, it's nice to meet someone who think for themselves, that I can hear what they think, not group thinking. And we have society today, everybody is in the same bandwagon of group thinking. And so when I come to you, I present something to you, and I say 1 + 1 is 2, and you have this group thinking, you're not going to accept what I'm saying. You're going to say, oh, you with the man, or you this, or you that. Instead of listening to what the individual is saying, you are not listening to them, because you are driven by the weight you put on by the words and thought that you eat. So they're eating the things that they hear from other people. As I mentioned, the next time you talk to someone, you don't have to ask them what they think. Think about this, call me. Oh, what do you have for lunch today? What do you have for breakfast? What you gonna have for dinner? We always ask those things about loved ones. But here what you can do, you don't have to ask a person when breakfast time come, lunch time come, or dinner time come, because they will reveal to you what they have ate that day. They'll tell you if they missed lunch or missed dinner or missed a meal by the thoughts that they're thinking. The thoughts that they're thinking are their food. If some people like to hear gossip, they're going to be eating gossip all day long. They're going to pass gossip. They're going to share gossip. They're going to gloat over how someone is. They're going to look for someone to fall. They're going to be jealous. They're going to do all kinds of things to hold someone back or to pull themselves up. So it's a constant weightlifting of thoughts and ideas. Weightlifting thoughts and ideas constantly over their mind, getting a big head, if you want to use that terminology. So we need to become a New Year resolutioner. Like I was saying, my terminology is revolution. When Paul Revere run down, when he was running, so the British are coming, the British are coming, the British are coming. What would have happened if those people was on his path as he was riding the horse, they're not listening to him? What if they are, man, he's crazy riding that horse, coming, the British are coming. So when someone come to you and give you educational, informative information, don't just, oh man, that don't mean nothing. That just for so-and-so, that's not gonna happen to me. Because you may not have the opportunity to correct yourself. You may not have the opportunity to use what you heard. And then it's too late. It's like saying, I had woke up one morning, prepare for the storm before the storm gets there, instead of preparing for the storm after. You will be in a better position to prepare for a storm in case something happened. Then when something happened, you running around trying to prepare for a storm that just hit. Begin to open up your mind. Begin to work your mind like you're working out your body and want to lose your weight. A lot of individuals may say, oh, that person is fat, or that person got on a lot of weight. Don't be so quick to point your finger at them, because even if the person is small or much larger than you, guess where you both need to work on this in between your head, because you may have too much ungodly thought. You may have too much of weighty lies and you falling that weighing you down. We look at, oh, I'm so tired. The thoughts that we think can weigh us down, that we don't want to get up and we don't want to try to make ourselves better. Nothing's impossible for those who want to change their mind and change their way of thinking. Why wait until the New Year's to say, I'm going to get a new car, I'm going to find a new husband? No, you shouldn't be finding a new husband. You should be trying to make the thing work out. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to quit drinking alcohol. I'm smoking too much cigarettes. I should leave that marijuana alone. so on and so on and so on. We make all these little resolutions, and only after 2 or 3 weeks, some people keep to them and some don't keep to them. We need to realize that we do not need to wait anymore. And this is what I'm getting into the metaphor of this message. We need to recognize that we need to not wait anymore. We should not wait until the next year to committing to doing something. This should be an everyday commitment. Just as I mentioned, our body is constantly changing. Becoming New Year resolution, like Paul Revere, sound the trumpet for real change within yourself. And once you sound the trumpet within yourself by saying, I'm not going to think, I want to change my way and my lifestyle, then we can help other people and we can be a blessing for them, and they will see a change in us. We should be willing to change when we hear the truth or we are told about a behavior that we need to stop doing. We should focus on our behavior toward other people. We should know how to resolve issues. We should take and accept responsibility for our own action and examine any part of the discussion and see where did I go wrong and what did I contribute to the discussion, and learn to forgive others. And most of all, quit blaming other people for your problems. You are the cause of your problem by the weighty thought that you are weightlifting in your mind. And most of all, look into the mirror of self and begin to forgive yourself for what you have done. Forgive yourself for what you're not doing. Forgive yourself for the lifestyle you're living. Just forgive yourself and recognize that you can change yourself. And when you start changing yourself, you may lose a few friends that don't want to have nothing to do with you. And then you may have some friends that say, thank you. If you can change, hallelujah, I can change also. So nothing's impossible. When we do that, we have entered into what I call our spiritual gymnasium within our mind. We have entered into our spiritual gymnasium within our mind. It is there where we need to work out those thoughts that are holding us down. Examine our behavioral weights you are lifting. Examine your behavioral weight and what you're lifting. I call drugs, fornication, whatever. You're lifting that up in your mind, and then you go out and picture it, and then you're going to do it. Improper, we know in the gym, improper weightlifting can cause body harm, and if it falls on you, if you don't have a spotter, you may break your neck or you can be killed. So improper weightlifting in a gym can cause you physical problems. But here's also improper behavioral thoughts can cause you problems. Improper lifting, you pick up, you hear something that you like, you know that what you're doing or what you are doing, you should stop doing it. And every day you lift it. I give example, a bottle of water or whatever you drink, something. You lift it up to your mouth. You lift it up to your mouth. Lift it up to your mouth. All of a sudden, 1 can, 2 can, 3 can, 1 bottle, 2 joint, 3 cigarettes, chain smoking. So you're constantly adding on to one little thing. One person get a tattoo, then all of a sudden they walking around with tattoos all around their body. It's always start with one thing, and you start lifting up that thought in your mind because it makes you feel good. It makes you look good. And then you put on more mental weight. So you can be a heavy person in the poundage, or you can be a light person in the don't have that much weight. But the other individual will say, that person, look, I can see they weigh 100 pounds. I can see this person is 300 pounds. I can see the physical difference in the two, but they are when they are in their thinking, they're lifting more weights than they should be lifting. The 100-pound person, 300-pound person may be thinking the same thoughts. They are constantly lifting in their mind. They're lifting up these thoughts in their mind, and then it's weighing them down. And then once you start lifting up thoughts in your mind, then your body starts showing the behavioral thought that you are constantly lifting. You don't look like you used to look anymore because why? The thought that you're thinking caused you to lose the mental weight. Excuse me. So we must enter into the spiritual gymnasium of our mind and work out those things and examine our behavioral weights that we are constantly lifting. Excuse me. We need to seek a personal trainer. Some people need a personal trainer to help them to support their newfound truth of strength. It is from that position where we can ask about the truth to help us lift our self-imposed weight of lives. You break that down. We need to seek our own personal trainer, a friend, a family member, a loved one, or a pastor, someone that we can trust to help us manage our newfound truth of weights, to help us to remove that's been holding us down. And from that position, we can say, oh, know what? I have put myself in a self-imposed prison. I have given myself time to serve. I let myself out good behavior. When I make a mistake, I slap myself on the wrist and I put myself back in my self-imposed prison. We must find a personal trainer, someone that we can trust, family member or whomever, and say, you know what? I'm tired of lifting these. We want to use the word burden. I'm tired of lifting these burdens. I need you to help me. Please help me, because I found the truth. I heard the truth. Help me, spot me with the truth, meaning stay with me as long as I need your help to help me to be delivered from what's ailing me. We need to experience an ongoing New Year resolution. That is to work on self. We need to experience an ongoing New Year resolution that will work out on self. I'll work out on self. Once we achieve some noticeable behavior, once we achieve some noticeable behavioral weight change of thoughts, we will be encouraged to lift more problem weights of thoughts from our mind. I'll break it down again. Once we achieve some noticeable behavioral weight change, those things that are holding us down, I use cigarettes, I call it drug. Once we achieve some noticeable changes in our behavioral weights that's holding us down in our thoughts, then we'll be encouraged that we have achieved a little goal, and maybe others that's watching us will want to follow us. That is always holding us down and keeping us from confessing that we have a problem. Those weights that we recognize that's holding us down in our thoughts of weights, our thoughts of lies, our deception, us being seduced. Once we recognize that these thoughts are holding me down, and we seek out a personal trainer, someone that we can trust to be with us, that we can call, we can talk to, we can rely on, then we will notice a noticeable change. We will be encouraged, and others that's watching us may be encouraged too. When we refuse to look into, when people say, well, I go to the gym door and I look in, I don't want to go in because I don't want people to see me, especially friends and family members, they're just embarrassed of how they look. But they refuse to go into the spiritual, some individual refuse to look into the spiritual gymnasium door in their mind. They don't want to look in their mind and say, what I'm doing and saying how I'm behaving year after year, I need to stop. But they are more concerned about going through a physical gymnasium door and see somebody that may be smaller than them, not as large as them. They don't want to be embarrassed because they don't know anything. So they don't go to a physical gymnasium because they're worried about what people would think about them. But they're more concerned, they're worried about people concerned about them, but their behavioral thoughts that's weighing them down, they can care less because they have decided, because they may be getting a little pleasure from it, even a little bit of pain, but it's worth it. In the gymnasium, you have pain and pleasure. No gain, no pain. So you're going to experience both. Why wait until New Year's to make a New Year resolution? It should be an ongoing process. When we refuse to look into the gym door of our mind because we are afraid to see what is in there, and we don't want our friends and family and strangers to see how we look physically and mentally, because when we start looking at ourselves from within, and we share it with other people that we trust, or we may share as a testimony of other people, some individuals don't want to do that because they don't want to let their members and strangers and people to know that they have a problem. It's like a person who has a lot of money, someone who has a college degree, a nice house, a nice job. On the surface, they can appear to be got it made, but deep down in here, they're hurting, and they don't want to tell anyone. So what do they do at times? They kill themselves, drink more alcohol, drink, just experiments with anything to try to make them feel better, and only last for a while. We are what we think. Your behavior defines who you are. I use this analogy all the time. Wrestling come on TV. You've asked the average person, how do the person win? Most people say, I don't know. You got to pin the shoulder of the other person on the mat, and the guy said, 1, 2, 3. You in the winner hand get raised. You and I must begin to wrestle within our mind, pin that thought down, hold it down. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to change. This is my New Year resolution. And when we see that we are not doing it anymore, we can raise our hand and say, I have overcome. And if you want to give yourself a WWE belt or whatever belt you can think of that you accomplish it, then so be it if it helps you. So we must begin to pin our own self down. We should focus on being a better person for self and the God as we know him. Throw away those weights of wrongful thoughts that leads to death, sickness, illness, confusion, and so on. We need to stop trying to hold up those lies that will fall on you. Now get up off the sofa of your thoughts that tells you that you have no problem and that you are all right. Go where you can receive the needed mental workout plan and follow the instruction. Resist the self-talk that justify you to quit, not try, and justify a reason to work out sometime. We need not wait until the next year, New Year, to begin. Tomorrow is not promised to you. Tomorrow is not promised to you. Remember that. So this is my New Year resolution. I call it the New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year's vacation for the New Year revolutioners, where individuals have said, I'm going to finally sound the trumpet to make a change in my life. One person can make a difference in the community. The neighborhood that you live in, you take everybody out, you have the houses and the cars. What defines the neighborhood? The thoughts of individuals in the neighborhood. One person can change their thought within themselves, and in doing so, they can branch out and touch other people who want help. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink. Everyone must look within themselves and say, you know what? I heard this message. I'm going to share with other individuals. I realize that year after year, I have not stuck to my New Year resolution. I have learned another way that is not about the physical body, that I need to lose weight. And I may need to lose weight when it comes to my physical body, my appearance, because, hey, when you work out, you look good, you can wear certain clothes, you can get, just feel better about yourself. But you didn't put the weight on overnight. It's a series to where you are today. So it's the same thing in your mind. You did not put on that behavior all of a sudden. You allow yourself to be seduced. You start thinking certain kind of thoughts. Then you start eating that thought. And then we say, oh, it's like going to all you eat buffet type place, and you see certain food, you don't bother the salad bar. You go to the meat and the ribs and the chicken and whatever, and you gulp down that, and you might kick in a little dessert. It's the same thing when it comes to what we think. Then who you hanging out with, who you associate yourself with, will reveal to you what are you eating. If you constantly with the same homies and the girlies every day long, then guess what happened? You start eating what they're eating, and everybody's thinking the same way, and no one. This message is not about condemnation or putting people down. It is to give you the truth using the metaphor as a physical gym. So the next time you pass a gym, you're going to remember, if you heard this message, that, hey, you know what? Not only do I need to go into that physical gym and don't be worrying about other people, I need to go into the spiritual gymnasium in my mind and put this mental body in shape that I won't gossip, I won't lie, I will change my lifestyle. We must change our thinking before we can change our lifestyle. You must replace it. So thank you, those of you who have joined me. I see some people, Ronald Priester, my sister Anna Bryant, my other sister Patricia Middleton, and Anthony Harris. I thank you all for joining me. I'm going to do this every Sunday, whatever I think of, and I'm going to start every Sunday. And if I decide to do anything in between, then I'll throw in another message once in a while. And one may ask the question, why do you do what you do? If I don't do it, who else do it? If I recognize that I have a gift, if I recognize I have a talent, then I need to put it to use, not only for myself, because every time I say something, you always hear me say we, us. I never say you, all, because every message, the things that I have shared so far, always apply to me first, and hopefully will touch anybody. If you like what you heard, then you can always go to my channel, The Hidden Tales of Black Male. And one asked the question, why do you name the channel The Hidden Tales of Black Male? I throw this out for thinking. We see shows on TV where the woman says, oh, my man left me for another woman. You know, he beat me up or whatever. But I have never seen a show, consistent show, where a man come on TV, talk to Dr. Phil or Oprah or whomever. He shed a few tears and he said, you know what? I'm got a confession to make. My wife is beating me up mentally and sometimes physically. And the audience go, ooh. And they show the camera faces and the women and the men looking like, and don't let the person be a bulky man. Say, how can this man let the woman beat him up? I give you the answer, and I may continue the next time. It's his thinking. The woman has a stronger mind, and the male has allowed himself to have a weaker mind. So therefore, she punched him in the eye. She beat him up. And you know, a woman will get on the phone real quick and say, my man is beating me up. What should I do? Mom or dad or grandparents. But have you heard, maybe a guy will call it dad, those of us who have fathers and the fathers down on the street and left the children. Most men is not going to pick up the phone and call and say, yeah, man, yo, bro, guess what? My wife put me out of the house. She hit me with a frying pan. She threw hot water on me. She threw hot grease on me. She took my money. She took my paycheck. She keyed my car. She just beat me up, man. What do I need to do? Most men is not going to do that because men were told not to cry. So they're going to walk around in that tough. They walk around in that tough on the outside, pretend that they're, we call it a man, like on one of my, I think I already uploaded on YouTube, what is being a man? Is being a man because you're on the outside define you as a male? Yes. But does that really define who you're man? So that's what it's about. The thoughts. So yes, you can look at a man or a woman and see physical tears down their eyes. And you say something is wrong. But how can you tell if something is wrong with anybody if you see no tears? You can tell from the behaviors and the things that they say. The things that a person says out of their mouth and their behavior will reveal to you they are crying. Thank you, and see you, God willing, next Sunday. If you like what you've heard, comment, share with other people, allow other individuals to hear what you heard. Don't think for them and say they don't like it. because you may not like it. You may kind of like it. You may pick up little things out of it. You may enjoy it, but allow other family members to share it and say, wow, I never heard this before. Or wow, that is true. He just reminded me that in a way, and I said this before I close, you know, how many of us brothers or men stayed in a relationship because of how the person looked, maybe for sexual reason, the money they have, the Benjamin in the car, we have no place to go. And yet we have experienced the abuse. The woman talked down to you. Yes, dear. Yes, dear. You smile in their face and you go get your girlie on the side. That is physical and emotional abuse. So men need to wake up and begin to cry and say, yes, I'm like you. Come out of the closet and admit that you have issues. Women do it like running water. Why shouldn't us? So that's why I create the web channel, YouTube channel, The Hidden Tears of Black Male, and the little things I'm doing there. Hopefully males will get the light bulb shine in their head and say, hey, I know I can go and share my thoughts. I can share whatever. My email, if you type in he still speaks now listen.org, out he still speaks now listen.org, you see my website and my address. And if you want my address, so you can, if you have a story that you want me to tell, then share it with me. I will not give your name. I will share your story so other males of different races can hear that, hey, I've been beaten up by a woman. I didn't admit it. Even though you have been beaten up by a woman physically and emotionally, you're still experiencing those scars. And so what happened? You get in another relationship and you start treating the new person as though she have hurt you and she have not. And then she look at you and say something like this: whomever and whatever you went through with that last woman is not me. She may say, if you put your hand on me, I'll chop it off. If you do something to me, I'll kill you. Whatever she may say. But what her point is, you and her need to build a foundation based on what you and her. Thank you. God bless.